Alright, this is my first math lesson. I cannot record in the field, so I'm recording it at home after I've already taught the lesson. So the title of my lesson is All Forms of Numbers. So that the students will be learning about expanded forms and unit form and expanded form and word form. The students have already learned about expanded form. We're just going to tie all four of the activities together in one. So, for my motivation activity, I read to the students Circumference and All the King's 10. I did have that on a digital file, and I hooked it up to the Mimeo board, and we read the book together. Throughout the book, I discussed different base 10 numbers. I did ask a few questions, and I wrote some of them down that I asked. I said, what was the solution to count all the people that had come to the party? And I said, what did Lady D do when more people arrived? And through that, we got to see that they broke them into groups of 10 or groups of 100. And then if they were in groups of 10 and there was enough groups of 10, they combined them into a group of 100. So we got to see that exchange through the story. And then I asked at the end, how many guests showed up at the end. And it was like 9,999, I think. For our review, I just wanted to review expanded form because the students did learn it yesterday. The teacher will show students a number, and the students will write the number in expanded form on their whiteboards. So each student had a whiteboard, a dry erase marker, and a eraser. The first number that I showed the students is 145. The students could show multiple answers like 10 plus 40 plus 5, 40 plus 100 plus 5, 5 plus 40 plus 100. And many more. The teacher says that in the Eureka Math book that sometimes it tricks them up and it'll write them in any order, and that's why I should accept it in any order. Then I asked them a few more questions. I gave them a few more numbers just to review. The next number I gave them was 306. The next number I gave them was 316. And then the last number I gave them was 1,251. Each student did pretty good. I gave them a minute or two to write out their answer. They showed up their boards, and if some of them was wrong, I said, hey, you need to fix. Said the student's name. They put theirs down. They redone it, and they held it back up and showed you the correct answer. The first procedure activity we did was the students had a number spelling activity, which is find it. The number spelling activity I passed out, and the students worked on the worksheet with their shoulder partners, and they spelled out each word. But the number sheet activity just had, the ones place, the tens place, and the students just had to write out which number went into which box. The teacher went over the sheet once everyone had finished and allowed the students to complete one at a time and fill in all the answers. The teacher then had the students do another exercise on their whiteboards. So they still had their whiteboards at their desk, and we moved on to the next activity, still kind of doing the same thing. The teacher called out a number. I wrote the number down on the Elmo. The students then had to write the number on the whiteboard and then show it to me. So the numbers I called out were 465, 217, 901, 723, and 132. After we did, each student had time to write down the, 200 and 217, and then they would show me on their board. They would write 465 showed on their board. The next thing the students did was they did the expanded form worksheet. Yeah. And they did the matching part 1 worksheet. So the expanded form worksheet looks like this. And the students just did, they added them together, 20 plus 1, 20 plus 2, until they finished the whole worksheet. Once they finished, they turned this in. And the next activity they did was, I did one example with them, 374, and they drew it to the standard number. So they had word forms and they drew it to the standard number forms. Once we completed that, the teacher passed out the base 10 blocks to each group. So the base 10 blocks was the thousands, the hundreds plaque, the tens, and the ones. The teacher told the students to show 12 ones on their thing. So they counted out 12 ones. I was like, how could we exchange 10 of these ones for something? And they knew that they could exchange 10 individual ones for one group of 10. So they exchanged that. I said, now I'm going to call out several numbers, and I want you to show me with your base 10 blocks how you would do each one. I said, you can exchange as you need, and I'm going to walk around and do each one with y'all. Make sure you have the right answer. So the numbers I called out were 120, so the students would have 100 block and 2 tens. And then I said, okay, now show me 15. And the students, took away the 100, and they kept out 110, and they counted out 5 ones. Then after they finished that, I said, okay, now 21. So they counted out 2 10. They did 2 groups of 10 blocks and 1 individual block. And then we kept going, doing the same steps, 210, 68, 680, and 150. After we did that, the students then did the match 2 worksheet, which was this worksheet. They had to match all the ways of expressing each number. So A was 509, so they would draw a line here. B was 434 ones, so they would draw their line here. C was 60 plus 80 plus 3, so they would draw their line here. And they did this worksheet, and then they turned this worksheet in as well. After we finished that, the students I took out the base 10 blocks and then passed out straws, which the straws was just another manipulative for them to learn. So we had one individual straw, groups of 10 straws, and groups of 100 straws, just like the base 10 blocks, except it was sticks this time. So there was one stick represented 1 unit, a group of 10 sticks represented 10 units, 100 group of sticks represented 100 units. So the teacher told the students to show me 15 ones. Now change it, one group of 10s, and they should have showed me one group of 10 and 5 sticks. Now I'm going to call out several numbers, and in your group show me the amount with your sticks. The numbers were 150, 12, 120, 21, 210, 68, 680. Once we did this activity, I let each student have time to finish each activity. I reviewed with the students. I reviewed the number forms, word forms, and expanded forms, doing an example of each one on the Elmo. Then I got the students to complete the exit ticket. The exit ticket was this short activity where they had to write in the number form and write the expanded form. Once they finished this, they turned it into their box, and we went on working on other things. For homework, the students had another activity where they did each step. They wrote the numeral form, the expanded form, and the number form. And then they had to do it again on this page. Alright, the different higher order questions I asked were, can you tell me how to write 680 in the expanded form and word form? I asked, compare for me 12 ones to 12 tens. And then I asked the students what is the difference between expanded form and word form. The modifications and accommodations that I used were I repeated directions, the teacher acted as a professional, and the students that needed the preferable seating sat where they needed to sit. For early finishers, they created a picture to represent the number we practiced for each expanded form. So they took the expanded form worksheet and they had to draw a picture using stick figures or cubes for each number. Reteach. The learner will sit with a paraprofessional or the teacher and review over the types of forms we learned. So they would take the form like the exit ticket, and they would practice each form with a paraprofessional or a teacher. For enrichment, the students will make a list of several numbers and exchange their papers with their partners and write the word and expanded forms of each one of the list. So you could make a list of 5, 45, 55, 165, 75, and 12, and exchange that with your partner. And your partner's going to hand you a piece of paper with 5, and then you're going to write the word form and expanded form. They're going to write the word form, expanded form for yours. Then you're going to exchange them back and check. For the assessment criteria, the students and the teacher will know if the outcome has been met by written, visual, and oral observation. Success of the students' learning can be determined by the ability to write the different types of number forms. My reflection was the students did well in the lesson. They enjoyed bringing reading into math. They discussed the book well with me and were doing well answering my questions I asked during the book. I actually got the book and the book lesson. I actually got this book and the book for lesson 2 on a digital copy and pulled it onto the computer so the students could see it better as I read, so I didn't have to hold the book up, turn around, read it, turn it back to them. So I felt that helped them better read the story and better answer my questions. The students, I feel, better understood the base 10 blocks, but Eureka Math says for you to use the sticks and the blocks. Based on the accent ticket, the students truly understood the concept. They understood word form, number form, and numeral form. They did go over something similar to this Monday and Tuesday with their regular teacher. They did go over word form and expanded form before I taught my lesson, so that probably helped a whole bunch. I do feel that some of the students are not on grade level but with the help of the stronger students that I grouped them with, it made them more confident of what they were doing. So I would think at least 85% of all the students understood the lesson overall. Alright, thank you.